Welcome back from the weekend. We're high school. I'm Jordan Ferguson.
And I'm Kayla Velagal.
Here are your announcements for Monday, February 6th, brought to you by We're Student Media.
Happy National Frozen Yogurt Day.
For lunch, we are having baked chicken tenders with a roll or a turkey club wrapped with baked tater tots and seasoned peas.
Today's forecast calls for cloudy skies with a high of 42 and a low of 31.
Happy birthday to Brant Smiskey.
In other news, to help students choose the best courses during scheduling, which is slated to begin mid-February, We're Student Media is highlighting an academic department a day throughout the week. Next week, today, Kendall Drobish and Lizzie Rhodes introduced the history department.
I teach United States history, which focuses on how we became a nation, our founding principles, how the United States was discovered and settled, so everything from exploration to about the Reconstruction era. And then I also teach contemporary studies, which is your junior level history, and that covers where US picks up, so Reconstruction to modern day.
I teach both civics and AP Gov. They both focus pretty much on the same thing. So first of all, we talk about foundations of American democracy. We use that as a base for each class. And then we talk about how the government works. So talk about the interaction between the three branches, talk about political parties, political ideologies, so how people feel about different political issues. And then we also talk about social media involvement and how that can play a role in politics. And then lastly, the last thing that we have to talk about is financial like literacy, so like personal finance, like how to write a check, things like that.
I teach U.S. history for sophomores. It's basically explorers, colonization, all the way through up until the beginning of the 1900s. I teach Civil War history, which I developed in 2001, and that's leading from the Constitutional Convention to and through the Civil War and Reconstruction, and it's leading up the cause, effect, impact on American society. I also teach sociology, which is basically the study of human behavior and interaction on a daily basis through different perspectives and different scenarios.
I'm teaching 2 world studies courses and a psychology course focusing on the past up to Columbus and the current human mind.
We do take a lot of notes. You know, it's history class, so we try to do some different note style taking. In special projects in United States history, we do a pretty fun social media project, researching the American Revolution and turning it into TikToks and Snapchats. In contemporary studies, the big project is the 1920s, where we get to play a lot with cardboard and hot glue.
In my class, we do notes every day, so that way we can get students the information that they need to know. But then I try to mix in a good number of projects to help kind of make the content more relatable. So in my classes, we do a variety of things. My civics class just finished up creating or forming a new government for the U.S. And then later in the year, we'll create our own political parties. where students will have to come up with their own platforms and stuff like that. Then we'll hold an election and do different things like that. We'll try to do some mock Congress, mock trials, basically anything you can think of.
I have projects in every class. Some are small mini projects, so each class has at least 1 or 2 major projects. I do a lot of collaboration with kids, cooperative learning activities, as well as individual assignments. And in the US class, there's some writing involved. But sociology is a lot of interaction, and Civil War history is a lot of focus on many visual aids as well as various units leading into different perspectives of war.
In psychology, I always give them a chance to investigate any area they find interesting, want to learn about an obscure type of drug and what it does to the brain, or different types of relationship problems, anything you got. World studies, got artistic projects, other kinds of projects, everything you can imagine.
There's no true prerequisites. I mean, it is your mandatory class that you have to take sophomore and junior year. So the expectation is that you would have completed your world history freshman year and passed it. But there's no other formal requirements to take it.
So the prerequisites, there's nothing that's really set in stone. You do need to have your different social studies courses for each of the 4 years. This is a required course for seniors. However, I have had a handful of juniors who have been in the class just due to schedule makeup, and especially with like JDR and stuff like that. It's just what worked best for them. So it's a required course, but as long as you're a senior, you're in here.
Usually when we put Civil War together years ago, it had to have a B average, and you had to be a junior and senior. Over the years, that's kind of lapsed. I still would recommend you having a pretty solid history background before you come in, because some of the concepts are a little bit more difficult. Sociology typically was a junior-senior class. I have opened it up to sophomores that are interested. The level of thinking in certain portions of it is not as difficult, so I think that, you know, that's acceptable. U.S. Studies is 10th grade, and you either get me or Olenek.
There isn't any. Everyone is available and welcome. I'd be happy to take anybody who wants it.
You don't really have a choice. I mean, you've got to take the class one way or the other. Mr. Engel also teaches United States history, and Miss Stanley has a section of contempt. Unless, of course, you take AP or dual, then that might affect it. But, I mean, regardless, you got to take it. You take it with me, because I think I'm a pretty fun time.
It's a required course. You have to pass it in order to graduate. You'll have to take it, whether it's during your junior year or most likely your senior year.
I am passionate about my job. I enjoy being around kids. I enjoy coming to work. I very seldom miss. I'd rather be here than home most of the time when it comes to school days. And I put 100% effort into basically everything I do, and would like to see someone have some passion about social studies.
World studies, because they have to, and also it's interesting to learn about the past and connect it to the present. But psychology, because you deal with other people and yourself every single day, so it's worth learning something about them.
Stay tuned for the science department tomorrow.
Callbacks for the spring musical Legally Blonde the Musical are today at 3. Students should report to Ms. Juarez's room.
Group Picture Day is this Wednesday, February 8th. Stay tuned for more information. A full group photo will be taken, as well as photos of club officers, and a schedule will be distributed to all advisors and posted on the bulletin boards around the school soon. Advisors, please make plans with your groups regarding attire.
Teachers, if you haven't scheduled your American Fidelity mandatory enrollment appointment, be sure to check your email for a link to do so February 9th or 10th. during your planning.
Attention students in 9th through 11th, get those applications for the WVU Upward Bound program in right now to help your Block 1 class win the prizes. It includes a grant that is worth more than $1 million, and WEIR needs at least 60 students to apply in order to get that funding. The competition will end this Friday, February 10th.
Now for your sports info.
Kudos to the swim team for raising a total of $1,575 for their annual swimathon. From that, $800 will go to the swim team, and they will donate $775 to Weir High School, Weir Middle School, and Weirton Elementary School for their Feed for Success program.
Good luck to the sports team this evening.
The bowling team travels to Barnesville starting at 5 o'clock. Girls basketball travels to Toronto starting at 6 o'clock, and the boys freshman basketball team travels to Harrison Central with a 6 p.m. tip-off.
Finally, your fun fact of the day.
Cows produce significantly less milk when they listen to country music.
That's all for today.
Have a majestic Monday, Weir.